All right, thanks to Purple Row. We appreciate you watching MLB Network. I'm Harold Reynolds. Now, this is exclusive stuff. Check it out, people. This is Studio 42. I'm giving you a little inside look. Go ahead, back up. Show them a little bit. This is Studio 42, and thank you so much for sending in your questions. Now, you've been asked a lot of questions about the Rockies. Remember now, on Tuesday, 5 p.m. your time, 30 clubs, 30 days. We talk about the Rockies. I even got my purple on. This wasn't planned, but it's working out pretty good. All right, let me get to your questions. You guys send in some questions. I appreciate it. First one, given Todd Helton's decline, man, y'all cold. You're right on point already. What are your overall thoughts on him, and how does it compare to other players in similar situations from your MLB experience? Well, I got a chance to be around a lot of guys when they start to decline. There's two things that happen. One, you want to give them their just due, their respect for being as great as they've been for as long as they've been. And sometimes it hurts the club. You get out there with a player and you're trying to make it work, and it holds your club and your organization back from moving on. I don't think that's necessarily the case with Todd right now. I think he fits real well with this team. He's not asked to be the guy to hit 40 home runs anymore. He's got a lot of young bodies, but I think the key that will make it worthy for him will be big hits, key situations, and also being able to have that leadership presence and be able to help out those young guys. And that really leads me to the second question. So let me go to the second question. How much validity is there in what I just said about veteran presence, the concept that keeps players such as Jason Giambi on a National League roster like Colorado? Well, there is a lot of validity to it. One, I think more so on the coming off the bench being a pinch hitter or being a guy that can spare somebody and not be an everyday player, because you know how to get yourself ready. And that's the biggest difference. A lot of young players, they don't have the advantage of understanding, oh, this is going to be my time, I'm only going to get one at bat. Because usually most guys that are brought up that are young players have played on an everyday basis. You've never had to pinch hit. You've never had to play just on Sunday. So those things take time to get used to. And that really is where the veteran presence, so to speak, shows up. Not to mention conversations, being able to call a young guy aside and say, hey, look, I know you're off to a 2-for-20 start. You're going to get some hits. It's going to work out. Don't change your approach. If you're hitting line drives, stay with what you're doing. They're going to fall. Little things like that, little nuggets are what the veterans bring more than anything else. Ready for question 3? I had to take a breather. I'm talking a lot. All right. What will it take for Troy Tulowitzki and Ubaldo Jimenez to be viewed as top of the class at their positions? Man, they're already up there in my book. Let's start with Tulo first. First of all, nice contract. Congratulations to him and to the Rockies. Because if you let that run out to his free agent year, we might be looking at an Albert Pujols situation. So you got your man. Now, what I like about Tulo, tremendous range, great arm, but he has to play every day. Now, I understand, hey, you don't control getting hit by a pitch and breaking your wrists and things like that. So other than that, he's always in great shape. He's in condition. He gives you tremendous innings and everything else out there. I'm a little biased towards Derek Jeter. I still think he's up there on the scale with the shortstops. But I do think in the National League, you start looking at Jimmy Rollins. Obviously, you hear Hanley Ramirez. But I put Tulo right up there because of the combination of the power, the arm, the defense, and the consistency. He may be the best shortstop in the National League right now. Is that good enough for putting him up there with some props? Now let's talk about my boy, Ubaldo Jimenez. Look, now, here's what I said earlier to some people. He was 19-8, but we're acting like he was 8-19. This boy is bad. He's nasty. 99-mile-an-hour fastball, the split, the breaking ball, everything else. But I think the one thing about him, he continues to learn and he continues to get better. Look, having a tremendous start like he did last year, going 15-1, giving you all the innings, including a no-hitter, you learn how to gauge yourself a little bit more and be able to pull back. He was full throttle all season long. There's got to be times he pulls back. I think Jim Tracy has to say, hey, look, you got 7 innings right here. We're up by 6 runs. We got to pull you out instead of maybe pushing that throttle to go 9 innings. Those are the little things. I think he'll be better. It's hard to say a guy who won 19 games is going to be better, but I think he'll learn, and the second half will be better. He only won 4 games in the second half. We can look for him to do better the second half in 2011. All right, ready for the next question? As we move on down here, it says the Rockies were plagued by injuries last season and finished 83-79. Will health of the Rockies be enough to put them over the top and on their way to the World Championship and given their first National League title in their division in the West. Well, it's funny. I didn't even realize they hadn't won a title yet because it seems like every time you look up, the Rockies have a playoff caliber team. To me, it's get in the playoffs. I mean, great if you win your division, that's fantastic. But the goal at the end of the year is to win the World Series. I think they have a good enough team to make that run. Look, the Giants got hot last year. Their pitching was phenomenal. They made some nice pickups, and it all worked out. There was 1 or 2 series down the stretch where it came down to the Giants and the Rockies weren't able to pull it out. You nailed it on the head with the injuries. So I look at it this way. I was talking to John Hart, and I said, John, you got to share this on 30 Clubs in 30 days. So hopefully he'll share this nugget. I asked him, how many pitchers does it take to get through a season? He said, well, you usually break with 10, 11, 12 pitchers. But if I'm Colorado, I'm looking at, I have to have at my disposal, I have to have 20 pitchers at my disposal. 20 pitchers? Yes, because you run into different injuries in Colorado with the high altitude. Guys lose confidence in their stuff. They all of a sudden they're throwing like they don't throw, and you come down with an injury. That's why John Hart was so great. By the way, he did train Dan O'Dowd. You always got to think about the what if. What if this doesn't happen? And what if this might happen? And have your backup plan. That's his backup plan. So hopefully the Rockies have enough pitching, because really, that's the only question mark you have on this team. Last question, folks. I got to get ready to do a show. All right, here we go. Last one. The Rockies were plagued with injuries. I'm done. I got you, didn't I? No, we're finished. But here's the last thing I have to say to you. Colorado Rockies, 30 Clubs in 30 days, 5 o'clock your time on Tuesday. Appreciate you watching, and thank you for this blog and sending on time on in. We'll cut that out. Never mind. Purple Row. Thank you so much. See you guys. Good night.